Okay. This is Freddie 59100, and I'm sitting here with a friend of mine, Mike By. He's been a friend for half my life, if you want to call it that, longer even. And he is a paranormal investigator and a Squatch investigator too. So we figure I'd talk to him and see how he's doing. So Mike, tell me what you have as far as tracks, sightings, or signs of what you've seen up at your honey hole.
The main thing we've seen is trees that have been snapped off. We're sitting up there one night, and a bone chilling scream came across, and then I heard something kind of like a deeper rumble off on the other side of us. My friend and I, we were going hunting. It was during hunting season. We were sitting back to back with guns because we just didn't know what had come across on us. About a month later, we hunt the whole month of November into December, and Ed was up at our camp, and he thought it was me, but something come up and shook the side of the trailer and hit it, and he again locked and loaded, and I came in that night, and he met me at the door with a gun, thought it was me.
That would kind of freak a lot of people out. Now, there have been stories over the years. There was one guy, I can't quite remember where he was at. He was out west somewhere, I think Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania somewhere. And him and his wife was out there, and they had something had come up, and they was in a Winnebago. It just shook the crap out of them and knocked stuff off.
It did the same thing in this one.
Knocked stuff off shelves and everything, and then he waited a little while, and he went outside, and he could look over behind it, and he seen set eyeballs. Now, where the eyeballs was at, there was a creek bed there, and there was a log going across. The log was, from the log down was 6 feet, and the eyes was 4 foot above that. So they said it was
pretty good size. Whatever shook the thing was big, because Ed said it shook the top of our Winnebago. He could hear when the hand hit the top part. He thought a tree fell on it. So yeah.
All right. So now the paranormal. There we go.
Right.
Since you are a paranormal investigator, and
I have the actual photos and everything. Yeah.
Okay. Now you, how do you, in your opinion, how do you associate paranormal with Sasquatches? In your opinion?
Because they're elusive, they show when they want to show, and it takes a certain environment before they show up.
That's true. That's true. Everything. Now I've seen a lot of weird stuff. Let's see. Well, it's like over in Highland County. I'm out there hunting, and this is back in 1981, and I had a 10-footer step out in front of me. He looked at me, I looked at him for about maybe 45 seconds. I turned and walked, turned out, took 5 steps, and when I turned back around, he was gone. I can't tell you which way he went because that's how quiet he was. But I told my dad about it, and he basically didn't believe me because my dad's the type of guy, he don't believe anything until he sees it, flat out, and everything. And from 1986 to back in October, where in '86 I had that female run out in front of me, and back in October I had that young one walk out in front of me. That'd be 3 Bigfoots I've seen. And why that one stepped out in front of me in Highland, I'll never know. But he wanted me to know that he was there, because I have been.
That's the same experience we had. It definitely let us know he was in this area.
Yeah.
When I was in the mountain.
I found trees that was bowed in an X across the trail. In one of my videos you'll see I got a pine tree that bent like this all the way over the trail and held down by another tree. And I took a friend up there, and he I got 3 of them up in my investigation. I got a pregnant female, and I got 2 young ones. All right, I took my friend up to my main area and he walked on up in the ridge, and I heard a knock at 6 o'clock. I heard a knock at 2 o'clock, and when he come down, he went up there and sat on a log on a saddle up there, and when he come down, he got about 20 yards from me, and I know how that log sounds when you hit it with a chunk of wood, because I hit it with a chunk of wood myself to see what the echoes would be, and a knock came from right there where he was sitting. So, and that's very unusual, because usually when I take someone up there, I don't see nothing, I don't hear nothing, but I think I know where the bed there is. But, and when I find it, I'll take you up there, but no one else is going to know about it and everything. But you've been paranormal for how many years now?
25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been
Seen a lot of things. Yeah, I have actual footage of past family members in town. I have photos of them in the water, the faces of them showing up in the water. They unretouched, can't be faked. It's on the cell phone.
That's true.
I've had them in this house. Our keys get moved around a lot. I one night just got a weird feeling, could smell my brother's aftershave, and said, Rex, is that you make that violin move back and forth on the wall? First it barely moved, and then he really whacked it good, and I know it was him. But we made a promise when he was dying with cancer a few years back to come back and let us know if it's something else, and that was his way of doing that.
Do you ever use your EMF in here?
Yeah, we have. But the house is so old, and we have a few plugs that sometimes you can get a misreading because of electric impulses. We have heard a lady crying in the house. I've actually seen my mother after she passed walk around our wall. She had osteoporosis, we'd been over. She smiled and was dressed in white and nodded and was gone.
Wow.
Yeah, and
That's cool.
I've had my son come running up the steps at night and said, Dad, somebody's in the kitchen. There's no one in there when I come down. We've had, you can be sitting in the living room and you'll see a shadow go across the wall as though someone was there, but when you look, they weren't there. There was nothing in the house. You can hear plainly the walking across the floors when we're in bed at night when nobody's here.
Well, how do your kids, are they nervous, or are they used to it?
Michael's afraid of it. Megan's scared of it. If it was going to hurt you, it would have done it. You know what I mean? Because it's been going on here for a long time.
Yeah.
Two, like I showed you earlier today, we got graves down here that are from the 1800s back.
Right.
And this was part of a Civil War burial ground way back. I mean, the church down there, this house was actually used as a hospital, one part of it during a war. So it's got a pretty good history.
You know, because I know this area here has got a lot of deep roots, because you got Mennonites, you got
Old orders, yeah.
a lot of horse and buggy.
Indians, a lot of Indians. This whole area was originally an Indian plantation.
Was it
Way back.
Was it Pamunkey?
Yeah,
I lived on Pamunkey Reservation down in West Point.
yeah.
I love that. Oh, Jesus, I love that. It was so sweet and everything. But okay. Have you ever do like a paranormal investigation out in the mountains and use an EMF
Absolutely.
and have sightings or smells of a big bipedal something?
Reddish knob. Yeah, hate to say where it was at, but absolutely, we were sitting on the back of the truck. It was hunting season again. Let's see, it was November the 26th, Thanksgiving Day. And Ed and I were sitting on the back of the truck, and you could hear something heavy coming through the pine trees where we camped in the second pasture. And I looked over and I had night vision. When I hit it, it was something tall. It was just out of the reach enough that you couldn't get to it. It throwed something, because we heard that. I mean, it was something went through there like a rocket, but it wasn't throwed at us. But it seemed like it sat there and watched us for a while, and then that left. But then we started hearing voices up there, which is even freakier.
Shattering.
Yeah. And
I've heard that quite a few times.
we put the night vision back on again, and something stepped behind the tree. But that, to us, we thought that it was the Civil War soldier. That's what it looked like. It wasn't the Sasquatch, but it was an actual person watching us and peeking at us through the woods. Because when we racked the gun, it stepped back again and squatted. And
Wow.
I mean, it's like I say, hand to God on all of this. This really happened. It's not a joking matter. It really happened.
Yeah, because right now,
Yeah.
we got, what's it, me, Daryl Klein, and a couple of, one or two other people. Well, Daryl wants to do a investigation up there, and we've been up there, but due to his cancer, he can only make it up so far. But when me and him was up there, he showed me a rock that it would take two people, everything you could do to pick it up. And you see where they picked it up and just moved it. There was where the edges is where the dirt and rock hit.
Mm-hmm.
It was still square
And the
all the way around.
indentation where it hit.
Yeah, and then we found another rock with a smaller rock on it. Now, when we went up there, we seen the rock, but there was no little rock on it. We come back down, there was a rock on it, about that big around.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, okay. So we found, I found a couple of bow trees. I found one that was bowed over, and it was bowed over this way, and another one come this way, and then in front of it, kind of behind it, there was a couple of them, and I followed it down toward the creek bed, and it went on across the creek bed and went up in that hollow,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a pine thicket. And I'm like, no, I ain't gonna go up there, because, we was just up there for today, stuff like that. And me and my brothers done went up there and everything, but
Well, in the second pasture, if you go up to the second one, you got to hike to it. There's a back fire access road, and if you follow that out, you'll come to a cliff. And when you overlook it, you can see pretty much all of Harrisonburg and part of West Virginia.
oh, okay.
But I noticed that it was really worn around the sides of it. So Ed and I walked around it and into it, and it was pine needles piled up under it, but no footprints or nothing.
Was there like something laying in it?
It was, I think it was bed. I mean,
Yeah.
Ed said this is a bed, because we sat in it for shelter from the ice storm, because we was at an ice storm,
Right.
and we sat in that thing pretty much 2 to 3 hours till the ice stopped falling.
Did you find any hair or anything like that?
It appeared to be like deer. It's like a deer hair, not a dark hair, but yeah, it was hair all the way around in it. But I'm not sure it was deer hair either. It could have been a coyote. I mean, it's still there.
Okay,
Yeah.
from what Jeff Meldrum said, said that the Sasquatch hair has got the same texture as the hair on our head.
It looks like, yeah, that hair was like that.
Yeah, and they're mostly black, white, and blonde color, which would be auburn color.
That's kind of how this was.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Like a deer, a light colored deer. But it was like people's hair too. It was kind of not real long, but long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's cool.
I mean, it's there. I can take you to it now.
But yeah, I'd go up there one night. And
We go out and pull the camper up there and just stay.
Yeah, I can do that. I'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
Cause I got all my stuff. The only thing I don't have is FLIR cameras, but
Mm-hmm. Ed's got those. He'll bring you in.
but my nose is what that draws me.
Mm-hmm.
Like we walked it, like when we was up there at Elkhorn. We seen that one with the eyeballs, but that was the eyeballs. But when I walked around that corner, my hair stood up on my neck, my back got the shivers. I was like, oh boy, here we go. That's about the second time it's ever happened to me in my life. When that one walked out in front of me in Highland, I didn't get that. When that one in Kennedy Fields and the one on the Coal Roads, I didn't get that feeling. But this was nighttime. This was like, we didn't get there at about 10.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a couple investigators and my little brother and myself, and we heard a scream, kind of like, rah, rah, well, we couldn't tell if it was We don't know if there was coon hunters up there or not, because I knew that you could still run dogs, but I think I was only to the 10th or something like. I'm not really sure, but we heard that. But by the time we got our recorders out, it was stopped. You know, and well, like I said, I had my brother and one of my friend's little boys with us, and when he saw when he said he saw the glimpse of him red eyes, he like. He said, I see red eyes where he wouldn't point until I said point. He pointed up there, and I seen him. He went all over the ridge.
Cool deal.
And everything, but we didn't really smell anything. But of course, the wind was blowing at our back, so.
Yeah, when I carried away from me, the scent.
Yeah, because see, whenever I go out by myself, as you know, I carry cover scent with me wherever I go. Now during the summertime, I use my ghillie suit, and I'll go out in the mountains and I'll sit. Now, the Bigfoot's got what they call infrasound. Infrasound, the way it was explained to me is you get nauseated, get dizzy, your stomach gets queasy, and I've had that happen 3 times already. But they can hear the mechanism in a game camera. That's why no one could ever get a face shot. That's what everybody's looking for, is that $1 million face shot. The only man who has got a Bigfoot on the game camera is licking the camera. I'll send you the website. It's Scott Carpenter, and I'll say go under Scott Carpenter / Bigfoot licking camera, and it shows him licking the camera.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is. You know, and I was kind of like cool, but that's the way it goes. You know, but one night we're going to do a night investigation, and that's later down the road. But Mike, I thank you.
Yeah, we can do it here too. And I also got another place I would like to go to. It's Freedom's Church. They've had an old man sitting on a grave crying.
Cool.
A woman looking out the window of the church after the church is closed at midnight. No one's there. You can actually see the woman look out the blinds and then go back down. They've heard babies crying out there in that cemetery. Seen a woman walking around the cemetery. Seen a black man, which the slaves are buried along the fence lines, because they didn't put them up around the people. They put them along the fence line. So the Freedom's Church is a good spot, and then there's another place up by the fairgrounds. It's a brick home that every time people move in it, they don't last in there a month before they're back out.
Fairgrounds.
Yeah, they lived in it.
The whole thing is brick.
It's a brick home with a little bit of trim on it.
Yeah, I've seen them.
It's got a flag hanging in the window. But there's the man killed his whole family there, his wife and his kids, years and years
So
and years
it's an
ago.
evil spirit in that house.
So they've no one's never been in the house more than a month for over 40 years.
Evil spirit.
Yeah. And they left the furniture last ones that moved in. So yeah, they are there.
Okay, folks, this is Freddie 59100, and this is Mike Vi, a friend of mine from years ago, and that's the interview. Thank you, and have a nice day. 59100 out.